afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
I would like to call the meeting of the board zoning and approval meeting to start now. We will start with our pledge of allegiance and then our invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day you've given us, Lord. Time to come together and discuss city issues and just be with us on making decisions tonight, Lord. And just we're just thankful for everything you've given us, and just we lift up our leaders for the country and then county and city, and just be with them, Lord. Help make good decisions, Lord. And just everything we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
We thank Miss Lisa for our pledge and Mr. Ring for our invocation. Next on the agenda is our roll call. Jacqueline Johnson, she is present. Lisa Coe.
Here.
John Hunter.
Here.
Billy Ring.
Here.
And Terry Brewer will be absent today. Next on our agenda is the approval of our minutes. Does anyone have, our minutes were sent, our last meeting's minutes were sent in our package, which should have been read. Does anyone have anything they want to add to it? Okay, then it's open up to be approved.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
It is then motion and second. Ayes. Nays. Ayes have it. Our minutes stand as read, as written. Do we have any unfinished business from our last meeting, Chris?
No, ma'am, no unfinished business.
Right, then we will move on to our new business, where I will put it in your hands, Chris.
The first item on the agenda is A. We're going to put public hearing for each item that I read, except for D. So the next would be B, variance request, public hearing, New Lawrenceburg Highway, tax map 154, parcel 016.00, applicant Roy Dale, on behalf of CB+D Ventures LLC, request to reduce the required front lot width from 100 feet to 60 feet on one frontage and 50 feet on a second frontage to allow for potential future subdivision of property. Property is zoned light industrial. The applicant is in the audience.
Okay.
Will?
Sure, we provided a staff report for this item. That is a little bit unique. It's a large piece of acreage with very minimal road frontage at the time being. There is a second point, it looks like it could be extended. So really unique feature of the property. Something you might want to keep in mind when considering the variance. And that road is Oxwood Drive. It looks like it may be possible to extend that and open up additional possibilities for future development of the track instead of granting the variance. Right? But the applicant may be able to provide additional information to consider. As always, we have several conditions for you to think about when you're considering approving variances. Those are listed below. They relate to significant narrowness or feature that limit its potential to develop. And with that in mind, you may want to That's that.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm Roy Dale with Dale Associates in Nashville, Tennessee. I appreciate the opportunity to meet with you. I do a lot of community meetings all across Tennessee, and it's nice to have a pledge and prayer at the front, and so I appreciate that personally. So this is a large piece of property, it's about 74 acres, I believe. And you can see that there's potential to utilize or develop this property without actually coming off that existing subdivision. So currently, it is one parcel, and technically, it has one access point through that existing roadway. So it's almost considered a non-conforming parcel right now. But my client wants to utilize the larger parcel that's adjacent to the subdivision above, and he has access off New Lawrenceburg Highway. And so development of that property shouldn't really require an access off the main interior road. So in the future, when that street extends, then each parcel would have 100-foot of width, which I think the intent of this ordinance that you have is to make sure you have adequate building width. That's probably why you have the 100 feet. And since the development of the parcel he's wanting to divide off is really apart and separated from extension of the future road, that's why we're asking for the variance. We see no reason to have that. So even the parcel that's being subdivided is going to be over 34 acres or 30 acres or more. And I guess theoretically you could divide these off by state law since they're 5 acres or greater. But we don't want to go about a process that would create anything that you would consider to be non-conforming in the future. And so that's why, and my discussion with Chris, who's been very helpful, is to come before the board and make sure that we do everything the proper way. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, I'll try my best to answer those. I know you don't have any visual here, so I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. You're just looking at paper. But if you have a question, I can come to you and we can point it out, or I can try to answer it as best I can.
Hey, let me get an understanding of this. The purpose for the use of this property is for later development of homes.
Look at what they're looking at. So this is light industrial property. So its use would be industrial in the future. And so if you look at this drawing and it shows the 31.8 acres, they will develop the 31.8 acres. It doesn't have any frontage on the interior street. I'm not sure what the name of that is, but so it has no frontage there. So they want to develop that property and just simply have access from New Lawrenceburg Highway. In the future, if the 42.3 acres is developed into smaller sections, the road will be extended and each of those lots would have over 100 feet because they more or less would occur in an industrial development and site. And you want to make sure your lots are wide enough. Developing this larger parcel that's separate from that shouldn't really have to have the 100-foot frontage. You're not trying to squeeze a building in within that existing 60 feet. You're going to put a building back well within the property itself. So I hope that makes sense. And I think the intent behind, and you have your assistant right here, maybe he can help, but I assume that if you're doing an industrial property on a road or extended road, you want your parcels to be wider so you don't have narrow buildings along this frontage. In this case, this development is going to occur separate from the road that's coming through the site. It won't be divided into smaller lots, whereas the remnant 42 acres probably will be divided into smaller lots in the future. And as those develop and the road is extended, each property will probably have a minimum of 100-foot of frontage.
Earlier I said homes, I meant industrial
I understand.
buildings.
I
Sorry.
So lot one's a proposed solar farm at this time?
It is proposed as that. I'm not sure how this would work within the Board of Zoning Appeals, so it would be anything could go there that fits under your categories of light industrial. And that is something that fits under the current category of light
So
industrial.
there wouldn't be much traffic associated?
No, it would be like, it would only have like a mechanical building there,
Right.
which is a centralized location. Now, in conjunction with this, we are adding an access easement all the way through the property, which might provide you in the future, because you do have a dead end there. So that would provide maybe an opportunity for you to have emergency access or secondary access. So in talking with the property owner that's selling this property, we felt like, in discussion with him as well, that might be something that's beneficial to have a secondary access.
So that's where the 60 foot's coming from for lot two, right? Would be the secondary access
I think
on
that,
that. You got a 50 foot coming off the highway, then you got a 60 foot utility easement coming off Oakwood.
I think the existing,
Right.
what is the name of the industrial street, Chris?
It's Oxford.
Oh,
What's it? Oxwood. So Oxwood has a 60-foot right of way, I think,
Oakwood on it.
which would be a normal for industrial. Yeah, so that's, so this is 60 feet.
Right,
So but the easement would be a 50-foot easement coming out a 50-foot right here. So there's 50-foot of frontage for this parcel. It's existing 50-foot of frontage, which we want to utilize here. But we're just going to go ahead and provide a secondary point of access for safety and maybe even connection to utilities, something in the future. And so that's why we put it there. And we felt like, and Chris may even talk to me about that. So something that we felt like that would be good to have. Because, generally you don't want to have long dead end streets. So this would provide you, and it won't be fenced, it'll be open, it'll probably be gravelled or paved in some manner that it can be utilized. So the solar farm would be fenced, be adjacent to the 50-foot, the 50-foot would remain unobstructed.
we'll need to upgrade the drawing, because the drawing says Oakwood, the paperwork says Oxwood, so it's one of the two.
It's one of those, like,
Oakwood.
Okay.
It's something wood.
Oakwood,
It's Oakwood.
okay. So the drawing's correct.
There you go.
Is this, from a fire standpoint, is this adequate for development?
Yeah, off guard. I've been to the fire chief for a while now.
Well, I think my understanding, there's some other individuals came forward. Mr. Dale may be able to elaborate, but these solar panels, how fire reactive are they, or they will they burn, basically?
I've never seen that happen. And I'm sure that because they're in the sun and they're picking up all that heat, they must be very highly fire resistant.
So before you let the applicant go and start your public hearing, just remember this is a variance request, so your variance guidelines are all is in section 4.4E of your zoning ordinance, and that outlines the standards that you should consider when you're thinking about whether or not to grant a variance. And it also has some evidentiary questions that you can look into, as well as where it's anything else that affects this parcel of property. I know Chris has provided the worksheet to y'all in your packet. So.
I think I can probably jump on top of that just a little bit. So this property is unique. And I think one of the requirements or allowances of a variance is this property or property itself, the fact that it is unique, it's a unique piece of property, it does have access. I think that in itself would probably provide you the nexus that you need in order to make a rational decision. Hope I say that properly.
So is this one that we'd already approved as non-conforming, or did this just get caught up in the redraw of the
It's
new
just,
codes in 2018 or whenever it was?
well, it's just a lot that was existing.
Okay, so it was already there. It's
It's
not.
been there. It hasn't, from my understanding, has not been parceled out or.
it's,
Yeah,
it's a remnant.
It's a remnent. Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm the one that said
Yeah,
non-conforming. It may not be
Right,
considered.
right. It's not a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a remnant.
There you go.
Gotcha.
I hope I didn't confuse you.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know if we'd already done a variance
Yeah.
at some point in time on this to allow for the 50-foot.
No, sir.
One thing just to keep in mind, I mean, it is a good bit of acreage, and we just want to make sure that whatever is done allows for continued future development. It's efficient, safe, and easily accessible. Dale spoke to that too. I don't know that the proposed access easement is really most functional, just because of the corner. But it's the right idea. It's a step in the right. Ideally, it might be something that would come back and go through the preliminary and full planning process. Doesn't sound like that's their intent at the moment, and that's understandable. We did include some potential conditions for approval packet as well.
We're just trying to do this the right way. The step-by-step process, so.
Mr. Hunter, to answer your question earlier, with the subdivide of light industrial, so there's no rezoning on that, and then anything that comes through the site plan would be addressed for access.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, we're gonna open it up. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna open it up for public hearing now. If anyone would like to speak on this issue.
So my deal is,
Please come forward and state your name, please.
my name's Johnny Potts. I own that piece of parcel right there, that's 10 acres. So when we subdivide this, is it going to be where it can go to residential and people build houses around us? Because I bought this piece of property for an industrial piece of property to stay away from people.
Property zone light industrial.
Mhm.
But
Cool.
if we rezone it now, we can come back and rezone some of it for building subdivisions and all the other stuff that doesn't need to be there. You're absolutely correct, but they're not asking for that tonight.
Right. No, we're not rezoning.
We're
for
not
that.
rezoning anything.
We're just
tonight.
doing variance setback.
But you're absolutely correct. At some
Mhm.
point in time, they could come back and add something like that. But probably not. So what are we doing with it now? What are we doing? Are you gonna subdivide it now as far as 5 acre tracts or something for industrial property?
You want me to explain? I mean,
Mhm.
okay. No, this property it's about 74 acres. They're simply gonna divide it into two. The zoning's not gonna change. This property will be developed based upon the current industrial zone. So no, it's not divided. It's not proposed to be residential. As a matter of fact, this is an old phosphate
Brownfield.
brownfield. So it's unlikely that would ever be allowed to be developed as a subdivision. And it's not going to happen. We're not going to request that. It's simply a division of the property. With its access being here versus trying to meander another access here that does, is sort of pointless. So no, there's no reason it's not to be residential. It's just a division.
And to do that,
We'd
they would
have-
have to come
We'd
back.
have to have another meeting like this. if we
They'd have to
wanted
come back before
So
us.
what's on the agenda is the variance, and the variance process is proposed to provide a narrowly circumcised means by which relief may be granted from unforeseen applications of this ordinance that creates a particular hardship. What that means is they're coming here and saying, there's a part of your zoning ordinance that doesn't match this property because of the size or shape or the topography of that area. So that's all that's being
So I had
compared
to
today.
stay within my zoning.
Correct. This
Why
is
can't
not
they stay
zoning.
within theirs?
This is a variance request.
You
have this.
I didn't ask for a variance request. Hey, I had to stay within my zoning. That's my piece of property right there. So why can't they stay in theirs?
They are.
We're standing.
They are?
in the zone.
It's not gonna be rezoned.
We're not changing the zone.
And they're not asking
Not
for
in this
rezoning.
meeting.
I'm talking about the variance too. What's the
variance
variance
has
for?
to do with the frontage. They don't have enough frontage
The variance
without
is
it.
only related to the width of the park.
This is their front, and it's not wide enough.
And there's no way
Supposed to
for it to
have
be
100
wide enough.
feet. That one has 60. That's all they're asking for. It's just,
Without a variance, it's not developable. So I mean, it's just gonna sit there as empty land without it. Till it, whatever point in time,
Mhm.
something else changes.
Yeah, correct. Mhm.
Okay, I see what I gotta say.
Okay, thank you very much for your input. Anyone else? Okay. We can go to a vote.
You have your worksheet as well. You need to go through and consider the standards for a variance and also the facts that are relevant to whatever deliberations you're making. You'll need to discuss these items out loud.
Okay.
Okay. Any discussion on item A?
Jackie, I would read them out loud and discuss openly. Each item.
Yes. Item A, the granting of the variance will not be determined to the public welfare, injurious to property of the improvement of the area in which the property is located, or subsequent impairment of the intent and purpose of the zoning district where the property is located, or general provisions of the ordinance. And do you feel it will or will not?
It's an industrial area. I don't
Yeah.
feel it'll be detrimental to the public welfare or
Neither
Yeah.
do I.
interests property as written tonight.
Okay. Billy?
I do not know.
Okay. I do not, and Lisa does not. B, the proposed variance will not impair adequate supplies of natural light and the air to adjacent property, subsequently increasing congestion in the public streets, increase the danger of fire, and endangering the public safety, or impairing property values within the neighborhood. Will or will not?
Not.
Will not, based on some of the answers
Yeah.
we've had tonight.
Yeah.
As written.
Okay. C, the alleged difficulty of hardship has or has not been acknowledged or intentionally created by a person having an interest in the property. Has or has not?
Has not.
That's my feeling
Has
too. D, the proposed variance is or is not consistent with the spirit and intent of this ordinance and the adopted land use and transportation plan. Is or is not?
I would say it is.
Yeah, that's what we
That's
talking
what
about.
we said.
Is. So, I'll make a motion.
If I could jump in real quick. So the part at the top of your worksheet to talk about the standards,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like the shape or the narrowness of or any condition of this property is affecting your decision today? And if so, how?
I feel as though it's a hardship on the.
Okay, because of the shape of
Yeah.
the property?
Because of the
shape.
narrowness,
Mhm.
it's already a non-conforming lot. We're not making anything any worse.
Okay.
And
than what it
without the
already is.
variance, it's
It's
just gonna
unusable.
sit there.
You're gonna have to, or it's.
Do you feel like the variance that is requested is the minimum variance that would relieve that difficulty for the
Okay.
applicant?
I do.
For lot
Mhm.
one, for sure,
Mhm.
Yeah.
as written.
Will this variance authorize any use in this zoning district other than what's permitted by the ordinance?
No.
No. Were financial considerations the basis of any discussion tonight?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got.
Right, we're gonna take a vote. All those in favor?
I'll make a motion, we approve the variance request for the new Lawrenceburg Highway, tax map 154, parcel 16, as written.
A motion has been made. Is there a second?
A second.
Motion has been made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And
Motion
and for clarity, the worksheet and that discussion, it's your finding of facts, is that right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, Chris. Going through.
Item C, variance request, public hearing, 2031 Trilogy Lane, tax map 126, parcel 041.50. Applicant Scott Hanson, on behalf of Jack Smith, request to construct an 1,800 square foot accessory structure on a vacant lot. Property is zoned R1, low density residential. The applicant is in the audience.
Bill, do you have anything you need to say? Staff, comments?
What is the,
Provided the staff report, these next three items are related, same applicant, same adjacent property. It might be helpful. It's kind of a mouthful, but when you get to look at it, it may be more straightforward than it appears. The unique situation, these are larger lots. The applicant is seeking to develop some agricultural style buildings on their property. Primary house. The ordinance, though, doesn't really allow for an accessory structure that doesn't have a primary building. So that's kind of a quirky part of this to consider, and that's this first item. The additional items are related to the cladding, building, almost the opposite last item, a larger expected accessory building on the lot where the primary residence. Again, these are larger lot properties than are.
I mean, hold on. I'm sorry, but we're having a meeting, and if there's any other outside conversation, you need to take it outside because he's being hard to, we can't hear him. Okay, if all other conversations have stopped, please continue.
Thank you. So again, these next three items are related. This first one is a fairly substantial accessory building that is not on the same lot as their primary. So they're asking for some relief from that requirement. It is directly adjacent to the lot.
is the purpose? Do you know the purpose? Where's that?
Okay, applicant, okay, may come forward, please.
Hi, I'm Scott Hanson, the applicant. And yes, I'm sorry?
Your address.
My
Your address.
current home address, 1176 Iron Bridge Road, Columbia, Tennessee, 38401.
Okay.
What is the purpose of this?
So the terrain on these two parcels, lot 3 and lot 4, there's quite a bit of terrain there, which it doesn't show here with no topographic lines. But as it lays out, there's 3 structures that we'd like to build, and the lot lines where they lay, it just so happens that one of them is this first item here, item C, is a barn structure, and it's going to be alone on lot 3. But it really is just a support structure to the main structures that are going to be proposed to be built on lot 4.
Is this for like weddings or something?
I'm sorry?
Are you planning on doing like weddings or something
No,
of that nature?
not commercial in any way.
Why not just combine the lots? What would be the purpose of not doing it if they're gonna both be part of the same property anyway?
Well, that's a good question. I think that this map has been established for a long time, and I think just procedurally, pretty eager to get our permits pulled and move forward. And I understand that this was sort of a variance is one of a couple ways to sort of skin this cat, and by doing this, we'd be able to get started sooner rather than later, going through the lot.
Could ask for both tonight, but that's,
I understand.
we've made several other people combine their lots before they could do that. We've not been in the habit of approving buildings on lots that don't have a primary residence.
I think that as we propose items D and E, we're proposing multiple buildings between the two lots. And so I think we'd be sort of, maybe in the same boat, going about it that way.
You can have multiple buildings. They have to be on the same lot with the residents.
Well, I understand that. So I think that the idea would be that since that lot line is in place, there is the possibility that someday maybe we would build a residence there. We don't have any plans to do that. We don't need that. But just from the value of the property standpoint, the fact that it's 2 separate lots, I think gives a little more value for the future. Maybe even if it's after our time being there, maybe it's decades away, but it would create a little bit more versatility for the 2 properties rather than trying to come back and then split the lots in the future.
So is this an official platted subdivision now, Chris?
It is.
It is.
It's
I know we've looked at several different things on Trilogy in the past, but this is,
recorded in 2018, if I recall.
okay, so yeah, we've looked at things since then to do something different with it. So this was the original one from 7 years ago.
I noticed that in the ordinance, the language, I'm not quoting it exactly, but it kind of alludes to the fact that an accessory structure needs a main structure. And although the main structure will not be on lot 3, it is attached, it is in support of the main structure that is being, proposed, and permits will be pulled for the main structure on lot 4. And so I think as a variance, there's that's one way to sort of look at the logic behind the variance request, is that it isn't just lot 3 out on its own. We want to put a
But
bar
it
on
is.
it.
But it is, ultimately, it is lot
Well-
3 out on its own.
Well, it is.
Any way you slice it, it's
Yeah.
lot 3 out on its own, and that's what you're asking for.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions they would like to ask?
Now, on the other structure, the one that's just got the kitchen, I think it shows a map, what's inside of it.
Just don't see.
The accessory structure, not the home.
Yes, sir.
What all y'all gonna do with it?
It's going to be a kitchen and a meeting place just for family. We have 3 boys in town. We have 4 grandkids, and we're multiplying. So,
Yeah.
we just want a place where Sunday dinners and Thanksgivings and, kids' birthday parties and things like that. We've always dreamed of having a place where all the family would want to come. And so we want to build a nice meeting place where we can all get together and do those things.
And no bedrooms will be in these
No,
lots.
might be a pool table in there, but no bedrooms.
I'll have some questions when we get to D&E, but I'm still on C right now because we got to do something on it first.
Oh, okay.
Because D doesn't matter depending on what we do on C. D may or may not matter.
Any other questions? From the board? We're gonna go to public.
Public
on
hearing.
this? Okay,
hearing.
thank you.
Sure.
We'll have a public hearing on item C. If you have anything to state, please come forward and state your name and your address.
Come prepared to talk, but I will be his neighbor. My name is Joel Rainey. I'm at 6740 Polk Lane. So just to give you pictures worth 1,000 words, I live right here. Okay. So I'm in support of it. You're a good neighbor. I'm looking forward to it. Some context of what he's doing, what you don't see on here. He's building here. There's drainage, a drainage ditch, a drainage stream, whatever you want to call it, that splits his property right here. He can't go any deeper on 4, or I'm sure he would just build back behind here. That would be very convenient for him. But that's just not possible, okay? So I bring that to you because I've lived there 25 years and I know where the water drains. I know about that particular parcel basically, but so I have nothing to say detrimental to it. I look forward to having neighbors. I will say, as you're looking at this, and you may already know it, as you say, this has been one of those parcels that has been looked at 14 different times, okay? And if you recall, when it was looked at originally, enabling to be able to use Trilogy Lane within those covenants, those 10-acre parcels have to remain. And to resurvey everything, you would have to reestablish all of it. So it sounds convenient to just say, let's go from a 10-acre slot to 20, whether it be detrimental to him or good for him, but to do it would require a whole nother surveying, et cetera. Am I right, Chris? Am I off base there?
To a certain degree. I mean,
Okay.
when you remove a lot line, it can be a process,
Okay.
but
Right. And so like
A
he said,
surveyor
this
will
is
be
probably the
involved.
easier process to try to accomplish it. But anyway, I'll leave it there. As being a neighbor, I'm in support of it, have no issue with it. It does look like the barn sort of sticks out, but that whole parcel is blocked by drainage, et cetera, and it would be a bit difficult for him to put all three on 4. But he does need a parcel, something to store equipment, et cetera.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Justin Crop, I own the parcel at 2051 Trilogy Lane, so obviously lot 5 right there. My mom actually lives right in front of lot 5, so we have vested interest in this area. Mr. Hanson first contacted me back in, I believe, October. We had a great conversation back then. He expressed his intentions and his kind of what he envisioned for this parcel. We've had several very collegial conversations, and I appreciate what he's trying to do with the area. I cut the hay off 1 through 5 there, so just like Mr. Rainey said, I'm familiar with these particular parcels, the geography, the terrain, and what he's laid out. Honestly, works well with the topography. I think he has a great plan. I think it's a good site. I think it'll serve him and his family very well, and I have absolutely no opposition for his proposal as drawn, and I think he'll make a great neighbor.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Hey,
Ms. Chair, I think it would be easier when you're going through if you start with the standards for your discussion before you start checking the boxes in the worksheet.
okay. Well, do you want to take us through that?
Sure. So variance request, the standards that you consider, the first one is by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of a particular piece of property at the time of enactment of this ordinance, or by reason of exceptional topographic conditions or other exceptional and extraordinary situation or condition of such piece of property, the strict application of any bulk standards contained within this ordinance would result in peculiar and exceptional practical difficulties to or exceptional and or undue hardship upon the owner of such property. So basically, is there something along this property that would require the accessory building not to be able to be there?
Still didn't address the fact that we're gonna put it on 3. So, not a primary residence. It could be possible he doesn't need to put it on 4, but what would be the reason why you wouldn't just connect the 2 lots and just do what you want to do? Because you sold lot 3 later, lot 4 won't have any place to put their equipment.
I
Would be my
understand.
thought. I mean, right. I mean, I don't know really how that applies to lot 3 and what we're talking about. We're
And
talking about lot 3.
we are talking about the applicant, the variance application for lot 3 to construct a 1,800 square foot accessory structure on a vacant parcel. So if you tied them all in, if you looked at them all as a big picture, you might have different answers. But
Right. Looking at lot 3.
is it one variance request application, or did he submit 3 applications?
2 variants and 1 conditional use.
3 separate
For separate
Yes.
applications.
with just one variance on lot 3. And then we'd have to move into the conditional use permit after that for lot 3. Middle building.
of what I'm getting at. Is there a way to combine them into one variance request?
At least the first, I guess that would be C and D.
But still, that doesn't address the issue of having a barn on a lot that doesn't have a primary residence.
Right, what Corey's suggesting is to, since C and D are related to the same proposed structure. it could-
We could, but that doesn't,
You don't
that doesn't
have to.
alleviate the problem.
I'm just trying to find ways that you could consider it if you felt like there was something topography related or size or shape related with block 4 that was prohibiting this additional accessory building and you wanted to tie those together. But again, I'm not making decisions, or I'm just trying to point out different procedural options.
In a lot of ways, this Trilogy Lane development
Seen it a
is
bunch of times.
exceptional when you think about what our zoning ordinance expects. Much larger lots, roadway,
I just don't see the reluctance to combine the two lots and alleviate all of this, with the exception of the conditional use permit.
Chris, I think if they eliminated that lot line, there would be another request for the number.
Of structures.
You can have two.
Oh, yeah,
You have
absolutely.
two.
But he,
But he
he's
could have
asking for
three.
three.
Right.
It would be
He's
three.
asking for two.
Yeah.
It's a
The
four, it needs
size.
a primary residence and
The size.
two different, right, two different sizes too. But yeah.
So there would not be a variance request for an additional building.
Not the number.
Not the
Not the
number.
number.
Rob, no,
Okay.
correct. Two or less.
So if they were to do a re-subdivision, that is a process that's similar to this one, that would be available. What Mr. Hunter's pointing out.
Requires a survey, strikes the lot line.
Because I think what John's trying to say is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, section 10.3 of the zoning ordinance says you have to have a home, right?
Mhm.
Another
Primary structure.
primary
Primary
structure on the property. So I think to protect us later on down the road, if we was to allow that for this piece of property, why wouldn't somebody else come in and say, hey, I want, could that happen?
It has happened in a smaller subdivision where we've made them combine the lots to be able to do it. Like over in Sugar Bend. And maybe even one over behind Singer Rails that made them do it because they couldn't build on it.
Madam Chair, may I address that question?
Yes.
So, may I ask a little bit of background maybe on the intent of that ordinance, on the, what is, why is that ordinance in place and what is it protecting against? And I think, I think that it's to avoid having a solo lone barn structure out on a parcel all by itself. And probably within city limits where lots are smaller and not rural size 10-acre plus lots. So in order to address maybe the point that you're bringing up, is that in the case of someone having this situation in the future, if they had an adjacent lot with a house on it, it would make sense that this variance could be granted in the future, potentially, because that's a situation that makes sense and is not in violation of what the ordinance is trying to set out to do. I think that the variance could be allowed in this case because of the adjacent lot. That's why I'm pointing out the adjacent lot, is that's sort of the reasoning behind being able to have a barn or a accessory structure on a lot without a primary residence, because the adjacent lot has the primary residence. And in those cases, maybe that variance would be consistent in the future and able to be granted, even in future cases without causing an issue, going forward on future variance requests. Does that help at all? I don't know.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
what you're saying,
I
yeah.
see what you're saying. And you're gonna be living over here
Yes, ma'am.
in lot three.
Yes, ma'am. And I think that the three buildings is maybe also the other reason why, I'd work with Mr. Brooks on this. And I think that if we combine the lots, then we'd be looking for a variance on additional buildings and over the square footage. And so I don't know that we'd be in much different situation than we are. It's just kind of a different route to, that might be a more, that might be a larger stretch on a variance for the future. I don't know how the board looks
The
at
difference
that.
will be is we can't stop you from selling lot 3 with a building on it if you wanted to.
And
If
if,
you have good intentions, we understand that,
Yes.
but that we're
John,
creating a
it's his
non-conforming
property.
lot in a subdivision.
and if I did sell
Yeah,
that
it's 10
in the
acres.
future, most likely I'd be selling to somebody who'd be wanting to pull a permit, I imagine, and put,
We
that'd be the
we can't
value.
look in the future. If you combine them, there's no question.
In a residential zoning, correct me if I'm wrong, but a business cannot be
I didn't
conducted.
say business. I said, if you combine them, there wouldn't be a question.
Oh,
We
yes,
weren't,
sir.
we aren't talking about business.
Yes, sir. No, I understand. I just
And I mean,
wanted,
it's your property. If you wanted to sell it, you could sell it.
You sell it.
Certain-
I mean, it's
Yes.
yours.
Mhm.
Sure.
You know, I don't see a problem why we should tell you can't sell it later.
Oh, of
You
course.
want to build a
Right.
building and sell it, that's.
Yeah, that's your business.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
just so to
honestly,
understand,
yeah.
building a house on lot 3
Uh-huh.
would make this accessory building a non-issue. Is that, I'm asking you.
Correct.
So
Correct.
we need to build
Uh-huh.
more house.
Yeah.
You
You built another
or combine the
house.
lots.
Or we want to keep it
But I
nice
mean,
and rural,
I
and
don't-
open.
I don't have a problem with, I mean, it's your property. 10 acres.
Thank you for allowing me to address that. If you have any more questions, please.
I mean, my opinion is it's not like it's downtown on 1 acres, 2 acre lots. I know that
10
sounds
acres.
stupid, but it's 10
You
acres.
do have to relate your reasons though to section 4.4 of your zoning. So what we were talking about earlier, is there something about lot 3 that makes this variance appropriate?
And there's not.
Mhm.
And if
Right.
there's not, do y'all
Yeah.
want to combine them all together to see if that conversation, but what Mr. Hunter is pointing out, if there is, there wouldn't be no variance request if these lots were combined,
Right,
because it would be
yeah.
conforming with everything.
Mhm.
That would still be a process that would come through here, it'd be a re-subdivision, you would have to get a survey, but that would eliminate the variance request, it would just be a re-subdivision request.
It could create problems down the road like this.
Yeah. See what you're saying.
So when you consider item C, go through 4.4 and just look at if that variance is appropriate according to that section of your zoning ordinance.
The ordinance does that.
Subdivision.
So I mean,
That.
kind of have to go by what the ordinance says.
Okay.
So you have 45 days to make a decision. I'm wondering if maybe to consider deferral and giving the
Let's do
applicant an
that.
ability to look at
I
some
make
other
a motion that
options.
we do that.
To defer to give him opportunity to look at re-subdivision or other opportunities instead of considering the variance as written tonight.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion on a deferral?
I make a motion that we defer this for 45 days.
To till the next planning. Or, well, I guess y'all don't.
Next, no, we don't
Yeah,
have a
it's okay.
set,
Mhm.
yeah. And you're gonna have to.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, the motion has been made and, second. All in favor? So what we have, we're going to defer it for 45 days.
Or, well, you need to pick
No
a
more.
time.
Yeah,
No more than 45 days.
No more
No
than
more than
45,
45
45 days. So Chris, what's a good time?
And it would be,
I'm pretty busy though.
the thought would be to give Chris and the applicant time to
Yeah,
look at
so-
all the options to make sure
Mhm.
this is the best thing after hearing y'all's feedback tonight.
Why wouldn't it just Chris shoot us a few days after they
Yeah.
Yeah,
get back together and see what we could do?
Yeah, I know the next planning commission meeting, there's 6 items on the agenda right now. So
oh, well, we don't.
we could have it after the planning
Right.
commission,
Yeah, we don't want to,
as we are.
right, yeah,
Okay, so we'll wait until Chris gives us a date.
Yeah.
To reconvene about this.
Yeah.
For item C and D. So then there's no need to vote
no
on
need
D.
to vote on D. If we,
Right.
So y'all have to address
Right,
it
right.
one way or the other, and there are public hearings tonight, so just
Yeah.
you can open it up, have it if you need to, and then
Okay. we'll
I
go
would say that E is a separate
He is separate.
building.
We're gonna move on to E.
So we have to defer D also.
yeah, you need to address D.
Okay. Well, like a motion made, so will somebody make a motion to defer D also for 45 days?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, the motion has been made and second to defer item D also up to 45 days. All in favor? Anyone nay? Okay, ayes have it. Okay, we're gonna move on to item E.
Item E, variance, public hearing, 2041 Trilogy Lane, tax map 126, parcel 04.51. Applicant Scott Hanson, on behalf of Jack Smith, request to construct a 4,200 square foot accessory structure exceeding the 2,500 square feet limit under section 10.6.B.4 of the zoning ordinance. The property is zoned R1 low density.
Any staff comment?
Yes, so this request is basically for, the stated with the building is larger than allowed by zoning. Zoning states that it should be subordinate inside. This is in kind of a agricultural context, even though it's not an agricultural per se building. Full house with some features, so maybe the applicant. But it seems like the intent to provide some architecture that's more in line with that.
The applicant will
Scott Hanson. Yes, I mentioned it a minute ago, the intent of this building is just separate of the house, having a structure, an area where we can get together, family together, and for meals and things like that, and enjoy getting together as a family. That some of that is the proposed house plan. And the reason we're showing that is just to show the square footage of the house, because I know that the ordinance calls for the accessory building to be a percentage of square footage of the house. We're exceeding that. That's the request for the variance. So I think if you keep scrolling a little bit, I think that Yes, this area right here. So just kind of a barn type structure. It has a kitchen, bathroom, but other than that, it's big open area. It will be built, heated and cooled and comfortable inside, as opposed to like a barn just for strictly parking equipment and things like that. But it's just intended to be a gathering place.
I would point out that our zoning ordinance is drafted in a way to address smaller lots not being overwhelmed by a larger. You have more space.
Hey, we're gonna do a public hearing on this?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment? If so, please come forward and state your name and your address, please.
Joel Rainey, 6740 Polk Lane, ditto. That's that, okay?
Okay.
Very good.
Justin Crop 2051, Georgia Lane, I have no opposition.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you for your comments. Open for our discussion, guys.
You want me to go through the finding of facts, the standards?
Yes.
So, I'm not gonna read it again, but is there anything about this property that makes this variance appropriate? Like size of the parcel, like Will just mentioned, being 10 acres, or, the narrowness of topography, anything like that, that makes this variance appropriate?
Yeah, the size of the lot makes it appropriate.
I agree.
Is that the minimum variance that could be allowed to relieve these difficulties for the applicant?
Yeah.
Does it authorize a use in a zone that's not otherwise permitted?
No.
Is financial consideration part of your deliberation?
No.
Okay. And now you can go through your worksheet. Sorry.
Okay.
You want to read over it?
Yeah, go ahead.
The chair.
I know.
You do.
Okay. Well, you asked. Okay, we'll start with item A. Granting the variance will or will not be determined to the public welfare, to be detrimental to the public welfare, in other properties, improvements in the areas which the property is located, or subsequently impairment to the intent and purpose of the zoning district where the property is located, or generally provisions for the ordinance. Will or will not?
Say will not.
The proposed variance will or will not impair adequate supplies to natural light and air to adjacent properties, subsequently increasing congestion in the public streets, increase the danger of fire, or endanger the public safety, or impair property value within the neighborhood. Will or will not?
Will not.
Will not.
Okay, item C. The alleged difficulty or hardship has or has not been knowingly or unintentionally increased by an person having an interest in the property? Has or has not?
Has.
Item D. The proposed variance is or is not consistent with the spirit and intent of the ordinance and the adopted land use and transportation plan. Is or is not to the
Yes.
board?
I'd say is.
Okay. I will propose a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it has been properly proposed and second. All in favor? Nays? Ayes have it.
And the discussion and the worksheet is your findings of fact, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris.
Any general comments from the citizens?
we went
Go ahead.
through that. Okay.
Just any general comments from the citizens.
Yeah, we'll take any general comments from citizens. Okay. All right.
I recommend the board or whoever the body is that creates the ordinance creates a minimum lot standard for the accessory dwelling unit vision. So something that's 1 acre or 2 acres, maybe even 5 acres, at some point that accessory building, the land itself, a 10-acre parcel, kind of needs a place to just park some equipment and things like that. And so I think that that is the intent that we have with that. And so as you are looking at ordinance revisions over the years, we're a family that wants to come in, build something really nice, live here forever. And when the ordinance when we kind of break against the ordinance, we're not able to do that with something that's pretty reasonable. It's unfortunate. I think the ordinance could use looking at. My comment.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Yes, ma'am. Please step forward, recite your name and your address.
I hate public speaking. Natalie Rainey, 6740 Polk Lane. I live behind it. When we bought our property, we all bought our property basically from the same person originally. This was 25 years ago, and we had deed restrictions. And in it, you could not subdivide anything to anything smaller than 5 acres. So in a perfect world, they'd be able to move the line over to include that building in it, but they can't unless they make that 10-acre lot where that parcel, where the shed, barn, whatever it is on, they couldn't do that unless they totally exactly split that into 2 5-acre parcels. And then what you've got are 10-acre, 12-acre, and a little 5-acre. I say little, it was monstrously huge to me coming from Houston. But so that's not a practical thing. I know you're saying, why don't you just make it all one giant thing, one giant parcel, make it 20 acres instead of 2 10-acre parcels. Well, I understand his reason for not wanting to do that, but he would almost have to do that. I mean, unless he again split that 10-acre piece into 2. And I don't know, I just think it'd be kind of odd having all these 10, 10, 12, 13, and then a 5 sliver right in the middle there. I think that would be kind of odd. Just wanted to say that I'm fully supportive of what he wants to do, because a year or 2 years ago, there was something on the boards that was going to put 11 houses lining my property, and I was not a happy camper. So this is thrilling to me. It keeps it keeps the rural kind of aspect of the whole neighborhood together. And I'm fully supportive of what they're trying to do here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Rainey.
Anyone else? There being no more comments, any more comments from the board?
No.
Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it has been passed and second that we are adjourned.